My name is Emily McDonnell. I'm the head of creator partnerships in the UK and Northern Europe for Snap Inc. So in a nutshell, I look after celebrities, creators, and public figures across Snapchat in the UK and Northern Europe.
What led you to your current role at Snap?
It's been over a decade of work. Do I give you the short version or the long version? Okay, where do I begin? Okay, let's try to summarize this. It all started actually with my love for blogs back in the day and content creation. So I started reading blogs back in 2008, and that led me to have my own blog while I was studying in California. And then when I had my first job after graduating, I was working as a PR/social media manager in New York Fashion Week and for fashion brands. And that led me to do my master's in luxury brand management here in London. And I got a job at a PR company before I graduated, and that job landed me my first proper job, I would say, at Google in the UK, where I was part of the first team that looked after influencers, as we call them then, not creators, as we refer to them as now. But so that was pretty cool. So I was in the influencer marketing team, part of the marketing org at Google in the UK, and I worked on their hardware products, so specifically the Google Pixel phone. And we were 3 people, which is pretty cool because we actually ended up creating the first influencer marketing strategy for Google that went global within the company. And and after Google, I decided to start my own company, so I consulted. And that landed me a job at Bumble. This is in 2019, 2020. And at Bumble, I came in and built their whole influencer marketing strategy for EMEA and launched that. And then in 2021, I had an old colleague that I used to work at Google. And he was at Snap, and he was like, hey, there's this amazing role that came up at Snapchat. It has your name all written over across it, and here I am at Snap, and I've been here almost 3 years now.
Have you faced any hurdles throughout your career?
So yeah, I have to kind of go back to the beginning. So I got into the creator economy or the influencer marketing industry before the term influencer was even a word. It was more about bloggers and public figures and celebrities at the time. And I do remember being in, big corporate tech companies that we always had to prove the value of influencers. Why? And also looking back, how to measure success. That was quite interesting. It was not as sophisticated as it is today. I remember being in Google spreadsheets, formulating formulas on how to calculate the engagement rates and as well as reach. And this was manually done. So it was always tough, I would say, to convince senior leadership of why one should invest in creators. And now I think everyone knows that it's now become $1 billion industry. So now it's shifted over to how, what the best practice is for companies to use creators. So I think that was quite an interesting phase.
Why are you so passionate about influencers or creators?
So I love the creator industry, influencers, because it goes back to what brought me into this is I always found it to be very inspiring, and also I found it to be a creative outlet. Seeing relatable people giving their advice on things that I could relate to, and having different views on things, and especially I've always loved fashion, so that's kind of how I got into it. I love looking at fashion influencers, how they would style things, and anything from beauty tips and etc. So I'm a person that I try to have a positive outlook on things, and I think influencers and social media, when it's done right, could be incredibly magical. It can really change the person's life. Anyone who has access to a smartphone, a camera today, can completely change their life or their career by sharing their views and thoughts. And I also think there's a beautiful community aspect to it as well. There are people that are finding friends and communities on social media now that they probably wouldn't find if they're from a smaller town, or there's and just looking at people such as Emma Chamberlain in the US, or our own chicken shop queen, Amelia de Moldenberg. She started doing interviews at these chicken shops in East London, and now she's on the red carpet in Hollywood. So I think it's just also you see when brands use it correctly as well, how it could really impact a brand's perception as well as success. Because as a consumer, I am much more influenced by hearing a person that I trust and can relate to talking about a product or a service versus a brand kind of pushing that message to me. It's not really it's not coming through us the same.
Why should influencers focus on building a community and monetizing on Snap?
So I'm not saying this just because I work at Snapchat, but so I've been in the industry for over a decade, and I always say to creators or aspiring creators, if you're not on Snapchat, you're really missing out. Why? It is the audience that we have on Snapchat today. There's 422 million daily active users. In the UK alone, we have 21 million monthly active users. The reach is incredible. We reach actually 90% of all 13 to 24-year-olds. They're all on Snapchat. And as a creator, once you become verified, so we call our verified or public Snapchatters Snap Stars. And once you're verified, you'll also, when you start posting to your public stories, you'll go out on our Discover page, meaning that the reach is incredible. We now have programs that you can also monetize your content, so you can actually make a livelihood through posting. And so we have Stories Revenue Share program, and how that works is that if you are verified and you qualify to be part of this program, we will insert skippable ads in between your public stories, and we'll share revenue with you. So you're not reliant on a brand to monetize your content, but we also have a lot of brands on the platform that are now wanting to also work with creators on the platform. So we now have an API, meaning that they can see the insights of our verified Snapchatters, and they can share that with brands. So it's a lot of exciting things. So I would say kind of stripping back to three things. It's reach, it's building a business and making a livelihood through creating content on the platform, and there's also that you can monetize and also grow an audience.
Are there any misconceptions about Snap that you would like to debunk?
Misconceptions about Snapchat, yes. first one, I hear this a lot. Snapchat is only for teens. That is not true. Yes, we do reach 90% of all 13 to 24-year-olds, but actually a fun fact here in the UK, I think it's around 45% of our users are actually above the age 25 and older. And another thing is that Snapchat is only for communication. As I mentioned now, yes, you can message with your friends, family, and acquaintances, but we also see a lot of people now going on the 4th tab and the 5th tab, which is where you'll see the public stories and content of our creators, publishers, as well as Spotlight, which is our short form video kind of platform.
Is there a way that brands and creators can collaborate on Snapchat, and what sort of format does that take?
So how brands and creators can collab together on Snapchat is that we now have something called Snapstar Collab Studio, which basically helps brands to source. So we work with certain agencies and they will help you source the right creators, help with any creative direction when it comes to the content production, any paid media boost. If you also want to utilize our AR lenses as well, it will help with that. So it's like a 360 service from beginning to the finish of how the results are and everything, looking at KPIs and return on investment of the campaign. And then we also have this in-paid partnership tool. So it's a self-service. So as a creator, you can create the content with the brand, and you just, when you are posting the content, you can just go in the app and search the brand that you're working with, and it will come up with as an in-paid partnership with the brand. So it's clear that you're working with the brand, and all insights are shared with both partners as well.
So what sort of creator or creator content would you say thrives on Snapchat?
So on Snapchat, it is relatable content. It's all about showing your personality, behind the scenes do really well. So as you probably know, or maybe forgotten, we actually invented stories. So the story content, like taking your audience with you throughout your day, vlogging does really well. Talk directly to camera. I highly recommend video content as well. You can combine video and photo, but video do really well. Be relatable, authentic as is like a buzzword, but again, showing your personality. And the algorithm actually loves that you are, I always say that if you really want to build and grow on the platform, try to post at least 20 to 30 snaps a day. And a lot of people's like, oh my God, that's a lot. But it's actually not, because if you think of the nature of Snap, it's basically you're snapping as you go. And that's the beauty of it. And I think also for creators, you're not defined by your niche on Snapchat. So you can show different sides of your life and take them, really behind the scenes.
Can you tell us your influencer marketing in and influencer marketing out for 2024?
So my influencer marketing in for 2024 would be relatable and kind. My influencer marketing out for 2024 is editing content to create this like picture perfect, or I think people are tired of it. And then also chasing likes.